I'm Vanessa, the girl on a bike, and in this video we're going to be talking about top tips for riding in a group on a motorcycle. So the first tip in riding in a group is actually remembering that you are responsible for your motorcycle, your obeying of the laws, and where you are at all times. Yes, you're in a group, but actually sometimes you need to be focusing on yourself and not getting too distracted by the group. You're a group as a unit, but you're an individual as a rider, and that's really important. If the group is going fast and speeding, you don't have to do that unless you're comfortable. It's all about riding your own ride while enjoying the adventure as a group. Now that leads straight into the second one, which is actually remembering that you are riding as a group. So having a little bit of empathy, consideration, and awareness for the other people in the group is really, really important. So for example, let's say you've overtaken a car and you've pulled in, but there's an ample opportunity for the person behind to overtake as well. Pull in and move over so that there's room for both of you. Thinking about where each of you are in an environment. Say you're pulling up at traffic lights. Instead of pulling up in a really long straight line, go side by side and the group can stay tighter together and you're more likely to all get through the traffic lights. So it's about thinking about yourself as a rider, but thinking about your group as riders all at the same time. And it takes a little bit of just remembering, where's everybody else? Is there anything that I can do with my positioning of the road, my speed, my riding, that's going to help the people that are in the group with me get the most out of this riding? Naturally, in a group, you are going to get different capability riders. You're going to get people that are a little bit more confident, maybe a little bit more advanced in their riding skills, to be hitting it through the twisties, putting on a little bit more pace. And you're naturally going to get people that are feeling a little bit less confident and wanting to go a bit slower, and that's totally fine. And in a group, everybody can have a really enjoyable time, even with that variation, just by having a little bit more consideration of where you are in the group. So if you are feeling pressured by the person behind you because you feel like they're right behind you and they want to go quicker than you, let them past. Naturally, you will find your place in the group as long as you get rid of your ego and everybody settles in, because it's okay for a group to spread out slightly as you travel through roads, off-roads or trails, etc., because you'll be using some kind of buddy system or drop-off system, whatever system it is that your tour is sort of decided to use to keep you all together. But by finding your natural position in the pack as far as your riding capability, everybody will have a more enjoyable time, particularly you, because you won't be pressured to try and keep up or being pushed by the person behind you. So just find your place in the pack. So before we go any further into my tips for riding in a group, I just want to caveat that this kind of list of recommendation comes from me having ridden in a whole different range of group scenarios, from all girls in Colombia and Belize, through to trials riding, through to hard enduro in Romania, through to right now New Zealand on a Harley Davidson. Don't worry, I do know how to sit on a motorbike, I'm facing the wrong way. But this kind of list of tips comes from a variety of different riding situations and accumulation of experience across the last few years riding in groups. In a group, naturally, there are going to be quite a few people. Now, stopping for a quick photo when you're on your own or just with a mate can be really quick. But once you start multiplying that by 8, 10, 12 bikes, you're taking a fair amount of time. So be conscious of how long it takes you to get your helmet off or get your helmet and gloves back on to carry on riding. Now, if you often find that you're always the last person to be got ready to go, maybe clock that maybe you need to start putting your gloves on a little bit quicker so that the whole group isn't always waiting for the slow duckling. Mixing it up, turning. When you're in a group, you're going to have some kind of buddy system that's helping you stay in a group. Think about the people behind you when you pull in. Don't just stop in the road and loiter and hang about. Get your bottom and your bike off the road so that the people behind you can clear the road safely. So when you're that last person trying to pull in and you're stuck in the road and you've got cars coming up behind you, it's actually pretty scary and dangerous. So you're risking accidents. So get yourself in, off, and stop faffing around. The faffing when you're parking, whole load of people just park in a line. You don't need to reinvent the wheel of like, well, I like parking over there. just pull up, get off your bike and help the tour guides out, because they are trying to organise all of these cats to pull up and go and get coffee. Just pull up organised, basically. The nature of organised trips means you're often going to be in new countries and new environments with different road laws. Do your homework so that you understand what the road signs mean, because if everybody else in the group knows what they mean and you don't, you become a bit of a danger to the group. Clear examples are things like non-enforced recommended guidelines for speed limits. It doesn't mean you have to go that speed, and so if you suddenly slam on the brakes and try and go 35 around a corner that's advisory for a truck, the people behind are going to be a little bit surprised, because they're reading the road and they can clearly see that you don't need to go 35 to get around it. That's a really random example from here in New Zealand, but making sure that you're familiar with the road signs and the legalities of it, so that as a group you're behaving for the same highway code, it's going to be a good idea. Being on top of your admin, if it suddenly starts raining and you need to get your rain kit out of the pannier, just know before you pull away that you know where things are on your bike. You know how to put your kit on. If the group pulls over quickly to put waterproofs on, not have a picnic or like wander off and play with a bird. Put your waterproofs on and get going, because you're on a mission. You're out there to ride and have... I'm having a rant now. I feel like I've probably covered quite a lot. Let me know if there are any tips that you would have for people riding in a group in the comments. Anything you think I should have included in here, get that rant down there. I want to hear it. I sound like I'm having a rant. I probably also want to caveat that I absolutely love doing group tours. If you want to know some of the key reasons why I do, check out my other video, because I've got a whole video on why organised trips are something that I absolutely love. As I've said, I'm here in New Zealand, having just finished an amazing 2-week adventure with Tour1 on Harley Davidsons, and they're a massive way that I recommend seeing the world. You don't have to own a bike in every single country. You can go have a dabble and explore. I'm Vanessa Ruck, the girl on a bike. Thanks so much for watching.
And I agree with everything she said.
Yeah, Dad!